Hi there, beautiful souls, and welcome to the Hawk and I. We have been receiving a lot of messages and emails with some topic ideas and some questions, and I'm really grateful that you are getting something out of the channel here. And I thank you for your questions and topic ideas. I just think it's so delicious that people are enjoying this and want me to talk a little bit more. So I'm going to answer some of the emails and some of the messages that I've been receiving with some questions today. And one of the most common questions that I have been receiving and that I receive overall in general is people will often ask me, how do I deal with people who may be the naysayers or the skeptics or who don't support this type of work or this journey that I'm on? And this is a really big question because I spent a lot of time over the years kind of sitting in the fear of being judged and the fear of what will people think of me. And it took me quite a while to get over that. To be honest, if I'm truly honest, that was a big hurdle for me to jump. And I got into a space with spirit where I completely surrendered and put down other people's thoughts and opinions. Everyone is on their own journey, including me, and it's okay. It truly is okay. And I have had very little negative experiences with people about what I do. I've had very little negative experience, and I'm grateful for that. But I also think it's because I don't push and I don't judge others either. We're all on a journey filled with many experiences, and spirituality and mediumship is not for everybody, and I understand that. And I've just put that down, and I just live with my truth, and I live with what aligns to me in the spirit dimensions. And I have never been happier in my entire life. I truly have never been happier with the work that I do. I've had many different occupations and jobs and experiences in life, and the spirit dimensions, it's what brings me the most joy and happiness. And I'm living my journey, and I'm living my truth, and putting down what other people think of me is where I'm at with it all. I do get a lot of questions from the skeptics. However, being skeptical and being closed-minded are two very different things. I feel, and this is a me thing, I feel it's okay to be skeptical and have questions and kind of from a loving vibration to kind of have that thought of, I need a little bit more on that. I really need some evidential mediumship. I think it's different than being closed minded. Now, people who are closed minded are on their own journey. And, I don't go into forcing myself, and neither does spirit. If people are closed and don't want to hear from spirit, spirit's okay. Spirit stands back. The spirit won't give me a go ahead sign if somebody isn't going to be open to receive it. Spirit's very respectful. Very respectful. Spirit always makes it very clear that they're there for us when we need to. The angelic realms are the same. Our spirit guides and our guardian angels, they're respectful if we're not open to receive messages or signs from them. They just kind of hold the space for us. If we do get to a point on our journey where we want to open and learn, they're there. And I think that one of the most amazing things about a spiritual journey is a true spiritual journey has no judgment. There's no judgment, and there's no you must do it this way or you must do it that way. Everyone's on their own journey, and so am I. And that's kind of the space that I stay in. And if people want to learn and grow, I will help them in any way that I can. Another question that I get is, Lana, what do you mean by source energy or source or spirit? And that's a great question. Now, the term source energy or source and sometimes the term spirit connects to what your belief system may be. If you connect to God, Jesus, Buddha, or any other religious leader or energy, that's spirit, that source energy. It's all one. It's all one energy. And so it depends on, what you connect to. And that's the beautiful part of it, is we can all have different belief systems and different, gods or goddesses that we may pray to or believe in. That source energy. So that's the meaning behind that. It's what you believe in, what you connect to. The other question that I get quite frequently is, do I ever get afraid? Is there any fear in what I do? And I have not experienced the fear factor with spirit themselves. I have too much trust. And I also only work in the light. So the spirit worlds and the dimensions that I connect to are for my highest good. There's no dark, there's no evil, there's no negativity there in the dimensions that I work in. So that's the only space and the only vibration that I'm willing to go into. Now, that being said, I do work with spirits who are grounded here, who haven't crossed over. I have dealt with the, I don't like the word haunting, but, spirit activity. I have dealt with a lot of spirit activity, but I work with them in the space of white light. So no, I don't have any fear with that. Another question that comes quite frequently my way, and there's been many messages in my inbox is, do I ever turn off spirit? Do I ever disconnect? And the answer to that is no, I don't. I may turn the volume down a little bit, but I don't truly disconnect. I'm always spiritually aware. Now, that being said, I don't always see, dead people, and I don't always see the angels and guides constantly, unless I lean in and ask, or if they need to come through to somebody, then they do appear. But I'm always connected to those dimensions, and I tap into them several times a day. Everything I do is spirit guided. I ask all the time, and you can do that too. You can simply just lean in and ask. It's a glorious space to be in, to take your questions to, and you will have that feeling in your gut, or you'll hear it in your mind, or you'll just have that strong knowing that this is the answer. The other question that comes quite frequently for me is about understanding. Do I always understand the messages? No, I don't. And it's not always meant for me to be understood. When I'm giving a session, sometimes the messages aren't going to make sense to me, but they always make sense to the person that's receiving them. So I don't need to understand. I also don't remember most of the sessions. Spirit takes the session after I've sat with someone, because it's not mine to remember. I have very little memory of a reading, sometimes absolutely none at all. And I have read people, and I've met them out in public, or they've rebooked with me a few months later, and I don't even remember their face. I asked Spirit to do that several years ago, is to take what's not mine, what I don't need to remember, because it's really not my stuff. And sometimes it can be a little overwhelming. Now, Spirit does not interrupt me when I'm sleeping. I don't get woken up at all with Spirit, because I give Spirit the opportunity several times during the day to connect with any messages that I need, or any guidance that I need. I give them that opportunity. So when I'm sleeping, Spirit knows this is my downtime, and I don't get interrupted with my sleep at all. Literally at all. I literally do not have any issues there. I used to. And basically, I learned that I needed to give Spirit some time to kind of finish chit-chatting before I go to bed. The other thing that I get asked a lot about is my own spiritual practices. Do I meditate? And, what does that look like for me? I do live a very normal life. I truly do. In my own world, I guess, in my own view of normal, I do meditate a fair bit, at least once every day, if not twice. Usually I start my day with meditation and end my day with meditation. And I do have a really strict self-care, spiritual self-care, as well as physical self-care regimen that I work very hard at keeping up. The other question I get is about energy. Does it take a lot of energy to work in the spirit dimensions? Now, this is a great question, because at one time it took an enormous amount of energy. One reading or two readings, I would set me back. I'd be tired, and I just, low in energy. The group sessions used to wipe me out. If I did a platform event of anywhere from 25 to 150 to 200 people, it would take me days to recover, physically and energetically, days to recover, because I was using all of my energy to channel. And then one magical moment, I was sitting with a spirit guide who said, why don't you use the energy from the spirit dimensions to rather than your own. And I thought, oh, that is amazing. And I started tapping into working with their energy, with the energy from the spirit dimensions, with the light that's over there. I started tapping into that and not using any of my own energy. And what happened was I'm able to work all day in sessions and then function in my own personal life and then do an event in the evening, all with using spirit's energy, the energy from the spirit dimensions. And it just kind of excelled me, and it kind of, to be honest with you, it kind of keeps me on a high vibration with them, because it's such an amazing energy to be able to plug into. And it's simply literally visualizing myself plugging into the energy in the spirit dimensions and working in that. The other question that I get, and it was a really cute question. It was just so cute, and I just had to answer it. Is, what is it like to live with me or hang out with me? And this is quite funny, because as you can imagine, living with a medium is always going to be filled with such excitement. Always such excitement. There's also some slight disadvantages about living with a medium, because everything that I do, I ask spirit. So no, I always ask spirit. So number one, children don't get away with much. And number two, there's always an adventure, and there's always things that happen that sometimes I don't even have to explain or even know how to explain it. For example, I can walk into a place and all of a sudden look to my family and say, we got to go. The energy here is just not right. There's something not right, and we got to leave. And that has happened quite a bit, whether it be into a big store or whether it be in a social event. I have literally walked in, felt the energy, and turned around and walked out. And even sometimes we've driven a bit of a distance to go somewhere, and it's just energetically, spirit says you can't be here. Uh, so, it does have its moments. There's always a lot of fun and excitement going on, because there's always a lot of spirit activity as well. And there's always a lot of readings that kind of happen randomly. So it can be fun to hang out with me. I think my family enjoy it. They haven't said they haven't. So these were some of the great questions that I have had recently. If you'd like to send me your own questions, I'm happy to answer them. thehawkandI@gmail.com is the best way to send us your questions and your topic ideas. I'm always open to topic ideas. What do you guys want to know about? What do you want to hear about? I am wishing you a spirit guided day. All my love and light to you guys. And thank you so much for tuning in here.